Left guard ahead. Speed limit reduced ahead.
I would hope so. There's the museum, but it's not open.
It's closed. Big sign.
Speed warning.
Flag got sign back there.
Yeah.
Car skidding to 0 degrees centigrade.
Now road ahead.
rough sides.
Oh, there's red flags all the way down there. In so many places.
That is always. Go solar now and get easy financing. No down payment for a whole year. And don't forget, the federal tax credit will disappear in 2016. What about Delta Waste? Protesters are down. dissatisfied clients. Hospitals attorneys can immediately protect you from aggressive.
Tie a little closer to the
I can?
sure slide up. Now we can get over here.
5-year survival rate. We come. Through this, but the prognosis before you know how to respond to the
is always
absolutely.
obviously, but this does react.
I don't understand how those other cars are going so fast through this bad road.
Well, there's a point where you can go fast enough where you can skim over the bumps. But if you go too slow, you can feel all of it.
Yeah, but if you go too fast, you can hit one of those sailing.
You better go to the doctor. Night sweats.
Try picking it up about 5 miles an
weight
hour.
loss and profound fatigue. And then if
See
you
what
check,
it's
you
like.
might see you're anemic. And then these lymph nodes can be floating around and not be painful. They can be painful if they butt against the nerve. So if it's either or, it can be painful or not painful. But the key is that they're hard, they're very firm, and that they're not freely moving. Especially if you lose weight without responding. That's a huge red flag. The question is, how do you distinguish between a lymphoma and a lymphoma?
Right, go to the right a little.
This is better.
Go to the right a little more.
Absolutely. Lipomas are fat cysts, and they're squishy. They're squishy. I get used to it after a while. And I don't want you at home to do this. Eric, Julie, I don't want you to do this. Come to the doctor. Let the doctor tell you. But if it's very hard, it's more likely something like a lymphoma. If it's squishy, it could be a fat. Blood testing, you go to the doctor, get that. A lot of times your white count may be completely out of control. But once they feel that well, and you distinguish between the lymphoma and lymphoma, regular person is difficult. But they revise, and a lot of times they may even get a biopsy of bone marrow, because that's also related. And by the way, thymus and spleen and lymph nodes are all connected as part of the immune system. That's one of the reasons this monoclonal antibody reacts really well. So we are getting better with this. Obviously, Hodgkin's has a better prognosis.
Is there any kind of screening? You talked kind of about prostate screening. There are all different types of screening in order to catch them before they come. Because it's scary. You guys talk about it.
It's interesting that you ask this, because when it comes to Hodgkin's lymphoma, it's a bipolar gene that you see around like 15 to 30. Then you don't see anything until like around 55.
This is a disgrace for a road.
Hodgkin. Usually as you get older, the risk becomes higher. You see this usually over the age of 60. So if you have family history, if you've been exposed to some of the
You're supposed to say, well, better than nothing.
absolutely one of workers out there had to show this is
Okay.
the question. I want to take the obvious. That's the bottom line. Stand yourself for this regulation. Don't be embarrassed, especially men. We talked last week about how men never go to the doctor. And women have started this mighty challenge, which is to get women to get men to go to the doctor. You know what, men? Is way up there. We're certainly our thoughts and our prayers are with the governor that he has a full recovery and that he is not this. Well, you
feel tired and that's something that does be a lot worse, I would say. It could have nothing to do with what we got inside our gut. Trillions of microscopic bacteria live in there. Can you believe that? The doctors tell us what we can do. You get that?
Look, there's someone going slower.
This 4th of July, SiriusXM's business radio helps you launch your next big idea.
I'm Randy Zuckerberg. I'll be your host for the Big Ideas Marathon. Let's get inspired.
Hear from entrepreneurs who've already turned their big ideas into multi-million-dollar companies. How can companies like Nest, Red, Uber, and others disrupt the way things are done and revolutionize business as we know it? Take your idea big.
All day Saturday, Business Radio Big Ideas Marathon. SiriusXM 111 or both.
All of your favorite stories.
ColoradoGeorge.com can turn them into a museum-quality custom canvas at the size of your choice. They use a state-of-the-art environmentally friendly process and their work is guaranteed for life. CanvasWorld.com makes it easy. Just upload your photo, choose your size, and you're done. And you can touch your photo absolutely free. Place your order at CanvasWorld.com today and save 35% plus shipping with promo code WINNER.
It reminds me of British Columbia. When you're on the road coming up to Yukon, the further north of British Columbia you rode on their road, the worse it got. Same here. The further north you go out of the road, out of the Yukon, the worse it gets.
Your wallet is including your driver's license used for identification. But the one thing that identifies the most important things in life you need isn't your wallet, it's your credit. And when it comes to getting your dream car, new house, or a new credit card, it's what most lenders look at first. For over 15 years, at CreditRepair.com, we've helped people find solutions to their credit issues. And on average, our members have seen significant improvement in their credit scores month after month. At CreditRepair.com, our proven process can help you achieve the credit score you deserve for the better lifestyle you want. So call the most recognized name in the industry, CreditRepair.com, for your free credit score, free credit report, and free credit evaluation, all right over the phone. So call 800-299-5877. That's 800-299-5877. 800-299-5877.
They don't even bother putting red flags out anymore.
Rover.com help you discover trusted local dog lovers who can help take care of your best friend while you're at work or on vacation. It's easy to get started. Go to Rover.com, search for a dog sitter near you, schedule a meet and greet, then book your house or theirs. Sign up today at Rover.com and use promo code RADIO to receive your first night free. Join the hundreds of thousands of happy dog lovers nationwide that use Rover.com. That's Rover.com. This is SiriusXM Satellite Radio.
Oh, back down to Sunday House Call and bringing the meaning to the saying you are what you eat. Researchers found a link between bacteria in your gut or you feel. Dr. Siegel, this is going me. What's in there?
Well, first of all, you find out, this is coming out of Texas Tech, and there's 6 pounds of bacteria in your body. This is not for the squeamish, this segment. 6 pounds. You have 2 million bacteria, you have 23,000 genes, Eric, in your body. But you have 2 million bacterial genes in your body. That means that we've got more bacteria in our body governing how we are and what we do than we have our own regular genes in ourselves, serotonin and dopamine, happy hormones that I thought were just made in the brain. So the gut itself, the
Beaver Creek Highway
governing your
maintenance
behavior, the bacteria. If you get your bacteria, or
Okay, Bogey, we're
you're
just
under
going.
high stress,
Beaver Creek was
research
where I
is
was
starting
gonna
to
end.
show that it impacts mood, it can lead to more depression, and it causes less immune
How do
response.
I get my bacteria? How do I angle my bacteria? And how do I get more of the happy bacteria than the other ones?
With an incoming infection, that was one way to do it. Not sleeping, not eating, getting angry.
Stop it.
The
Bogey.
bad bacteria tends to
Okay.
predominate when you're not doing well, when you're under stress. The good
Okay.
bacteria makes happy hormones.
David is like shaking your head.
No, what I'm saying is that there's a whole ecosystem of people living inside you. So you're basically, an announcement is that you're 90% bacteria, 10% human. That's what we want people to know. And you have trillions of these bacteria sitting over there that are active. What you're finding out, as scientists are looking at researchers, what you put in your mouth, whether it's high fat, animal protein, carbohydrates, all of those get break down by these bacteria, and the ratio of good bacteria versus bad bacteria determines how healthy you're going to be. So if you're the type that would eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, if you drink and exercise, all the things that we talk about, the ratio is going to be great. So you are less prone to have Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease. Now we're finding out that those bacteria are one of the reasons why we have diabetes and obesity in this country. So, you know, this is the first time that we see more about the psyche and the psychology of what these bacteria are able to do. So they're secreting dopamine, serotonin, and GABA hormones, which is unbelievable, because that means that if you're not eating healthy food, more hot dogs and processed food, etc., can lead to depression.
We're going to be talking about Crohn's disease in a moment. That's going to be one of our other subjects. But I just want to say that the food manufacturers are largely to blame for the reason why many of us are sick. Because the food that you're putting in your system with all the preservatives are making you sick.
That's one thing. That's part of something else I want to point out, which is your bacteria in the stomach, not only are they regulating your mood, but they're helping you digest your food. And you know what? When we eat that processed food, all those chemicals wears down our good bacteria, to your point. But you know what else we're doing wrong? We're giving too many antibiotics. When we give antibiotics to little kids, they wipe out the good bacteria, and then you get obese, and then you get diabetes, and then you get heart. What we're doing wrong by over-treating it. That adds more good bacteria. But you know what's interesting, Mark? What's interesting about this study is they took actually the bad bacteria from obese patients and put them in the mice. And guess what happened to the mice? They also became obese. So now we're starting to, and they ended up from diabetic patients to mice. So we are understanding, and we're getting into that ecosystem. So you don't want to piss off your bacteria. Yes.
I don't want to leave the probiotic issue on the table. Should people take probiotics? You hear a lot about this.
Well, so right now this is still in the mice. The mice, good bacteria, they swam longer. But I'll tell you my...
Okay, the part I wanted to hear.
Especially when you probiotics. And I also think they work well with irritable bowel syndrome. Yeah. You're going to the hospital and you're about for your good bacteria, since you're going to be headed toward this infection.
Now, speaking of, we were just talking about Crohn's disease, and it is a common condition that affects up to 700,000 Americans. So next we're going to take an in-depth look at Crohn's disease, who is more likely to get it, and the best way to manage the symptoms. Stay right there.
Right side.
The wind, the road, the right music, road trip radio. Roll your windows down and turn road trip radio up. Listen now for a limited time on channel 147 on the SiriusXM app.
169 miles to go.
Excuse me, pardon me? How do they think we'll get there?
I'm just trying to count it.
Machine out the window.
13:04 hours.
Buying expensive paper, toner, and a
1:04 p.m.
Oh, I'm done with paper jams and busy signals too.
So how are you going to fax?
Oh, that's easy. Now I send and receive faxes by email with eFax.
eFax, huh? Can you use it with your phone?
Oh, sure. eFax.
I'm going to put him in the trailer.
Phone, tablet, laptop.
I'm going to put him in the trailer.
So you can fax anytime and from anywhere, really. You can even.
You want to go sit in the trailer, Bogey?
Using your finger.
You want to go sit in the trailer?
eFax gives you
Then be quiet.
lifetime storage, so you've got
Be
access
quiet.
to all of your
No.
faxes forever.
No.
In fact, I bet you to know it's the #1 internet fax
You're not going to come
in
up
the
here.
world.
Wow, how do I get it?
No.
You can try it for free if you go to
No.
epaxradio.com. What was that? epaxradio.com. You spend a third of your life in bed.
But without a good night's sleep, how can you beat your business during the 2 thirds you spend awake?
Hi, I'm Scott Tannen.
And I'm Missy Tannen.
My wife and I founded Boll & Branch so that you can sleep on luxury linens without paying a fortune for the privilege.
So you can sleep longer and deeper and feel better while you're awake.
We only sell online.
I don't know if that was because it was a bridge or the
Everyone
road.
who sleeps on Boll & Branch sheets loves them, even 3 living U.S. presidents.
We're so sure you'll love them too. You can try them risk-free for 30 nights.
Right now, get $50 off the 7 sheets plus free shipping when you go to bollandbranch.com and use promo code NEWS.
That's BOLLANDBRANCH.com.
That's $50 toward your sheet set right now at bollandbranch.com. Promo code NEWS.
Know what's always on my mind, kid? Safety. I live, eat, and breathe safety. When I wake up in the morning, I have a large cup of safety with 2 sugars and a dash of safety. Safety matters. Your safety, my safety, everybody's safety. Love Granger. Granger has the products, services, and resources to help keep our facilities safe and our people safer. Now pass me one of those safety donuts. Call clickgranger.com/safety or stop by. Granger. For the ones who get it done.
I'm Bill O'Reilly, and this is Fox News on Sirius XM 114, where you can hear the O'Reilly Factor weeknights at 8 p.m. in the East, 5 p.m. in the West.
And now for
What's in the left?
our weekly segment about everything that
Pretty,
worries
huh?
us as viewers. I was recently diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Should I worry? Dr. Smati.
Well, the short answer is, unfortunately, she's stuck with this disease because it's a chronic disease. As you mentioned, about 700,000 Americans are affected by Crohn's disease, inflammation of GI tract. So when you talk about Crohn's disease, you have to say that it's part of the inflammatory bowel disease. You've heard of ulcerative colitis and Crohn's. Crohn's is mostly small intestine, ileum, and the first part of the colon. Ulcerative colitis is mostly colon. What we see with Crohn's disease is that the entire layer of GI tract is affected, and they're prone to having weight loss, loss of appetite, bloody stool, diarrhea, and it's a chronic disease. So they have times where it flares up and they're miserable, and then they go into remission. The role of the doctor is to make sure that the number of remissions and that period prolongs, and the recurrences go less and less. What you have to do is to make sure you see your GI doctor all the time, make sure you get colonoscopy, even though the risk of cancer with Crohn's is less than ulcerative colitis. But unfortunately, this is a chronic disease. And with immunosuppression and other treatments, we can control it, and she can have a good life. But she has to pay attention to what foods irritates her and be very careful with this.
You know, she asked, should she worry? I think David already answered this, which is she needs to be vigilant here. And I want to explain for a minute what this actually is. Inflammatory attacking that very bacteria that we were talking about in the last segment. So the white blood cells come in and attack the bacteria. And they do it, Julie, in something called skip areas, meaning that the entire colon in Crohn's disease, or the entire small bowel rather, is not affected from one end to the other. So if we look at it with an upper GI series or with a colonoscopy or with an endoscopy, we have something called skip lesion, and it has a characteristic look on an upper GI radiographic series. That's how we diagnose it. Then the treatments, diet is a mainstay of treatment, sometimes antibiotics, sometimes steroids, sometimes immunosuppressants. And the thing we need to be on the lookout for is colon cancer. We have a higher risk of colon cancer with inflammatory bowel disease, including Crohn's, so we have to screen you more and more for it. But with the treatments that we have, and now biologics, biological treatments,
fast enough. Smooth out the lumps.
To be aware of is that with Crohn's comes a whole syndrome of other things. She will be more prone for osteoporosis, for liver inflammation, and many other things, skin problems, eye problems. So now you're stuck with this systemic disease, and you have to pay attention to all the other organs that would be affected as a result of this. But there is hope, and it's good that she brought this question.
And if you want to know if you have it, here again, Eric, what symptoms do you look for? Some of them are similar to what we talked about with the lymphoma segment. If you have weight loss, if you have night sweats, but in this case, if you have diarrhea or bloody diarrhea, some type of bowel problem going on, especially with diarrhea.
See this in the practice because they come with a lot of fistulas, they come with a lot of fissures and rectal bleeding, so don't ignore it. That's basically the big message here.
Yeah, your body is talking to you. Listen to your body always on all of these topics. And if you have a question for our doctors, email us at housecall@foxnews.com, and we may just answer it right here on the air. All names and email addresses are kept completely confidential.
And coming up, Julie, talk about a fashion emergency. Hear about this new shocking findings and study about the health effects of skinny jeans. Our doctors say they could really be hurting you.
Trainwreck with Amy Schumer, director Judd Apatow, and the cast is taking over Comedy Central Radio on SiriusXM this 4th of July weekend. You'll hear from the cast of our new movie Trainwreck.
Orlando Bloom.
And the Trainwreck by director
Avalanche.
Good dog.
Over with Comedy Central Radio.
Go to the experts at Rain for Rent, the company.
It's supposed to be available. Why? Away the law.
Okay.
That she came to, and writing saying that his assumption is that what Congress intended was to make sure that healthcare insurance was available more broadly, and to find otherwise was that the intention he said of Congress. So some disagree, some agree with that, but it is a decision. All right, the following day, of course, we got the full ruling offered by Justice.
I can hardly hold on to the camera.
Sort of the swing vote here, citing reports that are going to be, classified as the left. Our Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and we put certain fundamental rights.
Or is that just in case?
Precisely so we don't have to ask our neighbors
Probably
whether
a law.
for us to exercise.
What was that? We're getting millimeters closer to the border.
Some of his famous
that was issued jointly by the FBI.
It says elevation 1:37. What does that mean?
On the 4th of July weekend, this fall, during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, ISIS has called for this interview to be a time of
It's got the wrong label. You need to select it and reselect where you want that label to be.
But authorities today are still evaluating the claims by ISIS of responsibility for two of the attacks in Tunisia and Kuwait. U.S. officials say ISIS for propaganda attaches itself to a path now central direction. Here at the end of the foreign ministry, the U.S. identifies as safety continued session with Secretary today. But Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif, after about 2 hours, flush Iran. U.S. officials say they're unconcerned about that, but it's always suspected that the minister is part of
Another 2.5 hours.
What's your symbol back there?
Going down. Apparently you're going fast enough. But he's not worried.
to target this sort of thing. And thinking with the bullets and arrest, we're being on the cautious side here to warn
Beaver Creek.
concerned about the way these Syrian ISIS recruiters can use the internet at lightning speed to recruit followers in the United States. Operations.
Road sweeper, you gotta be kidding me.
Let me pick up on that and we'll get to Bloody Friday.
Even a creek is full of rocks.
3 different countries within our...
There's not a kid in there, is there?
No, not.
I hope it's their food and tent and stuff.
Essentially, it's the United States.
just wrong.
Good road.
And that we
What?
actually
Good
presented
road.
some very hard
Sort of.
and that he's going back now to Tehran for guidance. This is not the war. Who has the upper hand going into what is supposedly the final round? Who wants it more? Who needs it?
Hundreds of billions of dollars because of sanctions. They're hemorrhaging tens of billions.
They needed more.
Speed warning.
Wanted more. They just
Boy, I feel sorry for the motorcyclists. But they get gravel all the time. And the bicyclists too. Put your eye out.
Yeah.
call us comments.
Look at this.
Did by or should by or affected by.
Oh my gosh. He's gonna get sunburned.
Some tweet.
What it is we
Another bad road.
moved on is it's a big deal.
Well, if you slow down and do the speed limit, everybody passes. You got rocks in your center.
Constitute same-sex marriage, where you can't.
Could stop at Ida's Cafe for gas. Whoa, look at all the dust up there.
Beaver Creek, 4 kilometers, 2. Is that what this is supposed to be over?
Speed limit reduced ahead.
Fast gas.
Speed warning.
Was working.
There's a gift shop.
Oh man, the gift shop.
Oh, there's the mud making truck.
Oh, look at him go.
Okay.
I'm going to read it, so thank you.
Buckshot Betty.
Oh, I won't see you next Sunday. Someone will see you next Sunday. You'll see you. Power Play of the Week. The University Indeed. The life of the Catholic Church. And the
Speed warning.
Catholic Union,
So that
the National University.
Oh, you have to come through if you're coming on the way back. Hey, can you put on Willie?
yeah.
Look at the light up. Good thing we're not coming back that way. Holy crap. Did you punch the yellow button? Look at the line.
Well, we're still not in the U.S.
Nope.
Yeah, it will.
We're close though.
The front of our trailer is so caked with dirt,
Yeah?
you can't see those lights in the front.
Really? Wonder what the front of the car looks like.
I don't think the bugs would even be flying in this dirt.
Slow down, you got a long way to wait. So it said there at the store, you're trying to take firewood into Canada, they'll take it away from you. If you want, we'll store it for you. If you can get it